Well, hello everyone. Greg Micklick here, President and CEO at cuinsight.com. And on this episode of Three Questions, it's a pleasure to welcome Wanita Kaupert, Executive Vice President of Product Management for SWBC. Wanita, thanks for being here.
Thanks for inviting me. I'm looking forward to our conversation.
All right. Well, I'm sure everyone is eager to hear about the valuable insights you have to share. So, with that, let's get to those three questions.
All right.
Why is attracting younger members critical to the growth of credit unions?
Well, I think credit unions are always looking to attract those younger demographics, especially as some of their segments start aging out. It's important to really focus on attracting some of the younger demographics that are moving into the market. And there's a lot of different ways that they can do that. I think it's become very competitive, especially with all of the digital wallets that are out there and everybody trying to steal wallet share. So it's become even more critical for credit unions to focus on that younger demographic than maybe they used to. Back in the day, people did kind of follow where their parents were, and you could kind of count on that. And now there's so many options that they're kind of branching out and taking advantage of all these online digital type banks that offer the solutions that they're looking for, which make it important for credit unions to really focus on what is it that that younger demographic is focusing on and where are they finding value, which is a little bit different than 10, 20 years ago. Definitely a challenge. COVID, I think, kind of opened up the door significantly as well. People were kind of used to doing business the way they did it in the channels that they did it in. And of course, once we hit COVID, everybody was self-service and digital. And so I think credit unions have done a really good job stepping up to the plate and serving their members in that channel as well, where it was definitely needed. And people just adopted that and they continue to look for solutions in those channels.
Yeah. Having young adults in my family, I can definitely say it's much different than when I made that transition to my own banking from my parents. But
Yeah.
thinking about that, what are the most effective strategies credit unions can use to grow retail checking accounts?
Some of the things that we're kind of seeing credit unions offer and members being attracted to those offerings are different types of benefits that maybe weren't available in years past. Some of those things are the buy now, pay later features that we're seeing launched in the credit union space. SWBC has kind of been following that for many years and is working with the company to take that solution out to market. Buy now, pay later has attracted anywhere from the 20 to 50 year range where folks are thinking I'm going to use your money instead of my money and I'm going to pay a little over time and be able to take advantage of this upfront offer. And being able to do that in the credit union space, I think, is vital. It's a really important value add for members today because they're used to it. They're seeing it on their phone as they're shopping. All of the big online channels are offering buy now, pay later, and it's kind of really something that's been pushed in everybody's face on a daily basis. Even going into brick and mortars now, you see it when you're checking out. There'll be a little sign that says, "Do you want to buy now and pay later?" So it really is a feature that a lot of people are gravitating towards, and a lot of those companies are using digital wallets now, even offering savings accounts with high interest rates to attract the market share. And so credit unions being able to offer that, I think, is really important. It's just an example of one of those newer features that the younger demographics are taking advantage of. So I think that is a real interesting offer that credit unions should consider. I think we're also kind of used to that subscription world now. Everybody, we were joking around the other day because I pay more for all of my streaming services than I ever did for cable. But I cut the cord on cable, right? We're kind of like engineered to look for subscriptions, right? So we're also seeing credit unions use value benefits in their checking account. So they may charge a nominal fee, maybe $5, $6, $7, but they're giving the member a lot of value. Could be that they are able to use their mobile phone replacement insurance. Telehealth is really big. There's coupon ads. But we as consumers are kind of used to this whole idea of I'm going to pay a little every single month and get a lot of value. So being able to get that from your financial institution, I think creates that experience that especially the younger demographic that have kind of adjusted to this idea of paying small amounts every month to get a big value. Those are things I think that credit unions could also be looking into and say, how can people kind of get into the idea that it needs to be free, but this I think consumers in this day and age have gravitated towards, I'm willing to pay a little bit per month if I can get a lot of value. So I think that's another way that credit unions could work to attract and stay competitive in that area.
That makes a lot of sense. So how does SWBC help credit unions strengthen their competitive offering and drive long-term deposit growth?
I think there's several products that SWBC has taken out to market to kind of hit those things and really help with that membership growth. I think the key is ensuring our focus is partnering with a purpose, right? We don't want to bring 100 different solutions to market, but we do want to bring those solutions to the market that we know are going to create the value that the credit unions are looking for. So we have a couple of those where you can add benefits to the checking account. You can do buy now, pay later. There's some other things that we're researching right now as well, and even expanding on some of those features and making them more robust. I think that's the value that SWBC brings. I know a lot of the credit unions on our advisory board appreciate that we're doing all the research and then bringing the right partner to them. So that's where we really look to create value, find those different solutions that can kind of create some uniqueness in their market and really help them grow their market share, because it really does come down to, where do I want to keep my money? And I'm going to put it in the place that gives me the most value. So staying competitive and constantly engaging your members to find out what is the value they're looking for is important. And every credit union has a different challenge. You know, they all have different membership segments. They're in different regions. Some things are important in California that are different in Florida, right? So they all have to kind of do their own research and understand their membership base. But there are some overarching products that we think make every credit union a little more competitive in their space if they're willing to kind of stretch, think outside of the box, and implement something that maybe they wouldn't have been comfortable implementing 4 or 5 years ago. But the consumer has definitely evolved, and it makes it a challenge, even on the product side, just deciding what's the most important thing to take to market.
Well, you said partnering with a purpose. I love that. And I guess before we wrap, I just was wondering if you have any final thoughts or any asks that you have for our viewers today.
No, I appreciate everybody's time. You know, if there are some things that pique their interest, of course, their regional vice president here at SWBC will be happy to engage them and give them some more information. You can always find me on LinkedIn and message me. I'll be happy to provide a little more insights on some of the products that we talked about.
Sounds great. Well, thank you, Juanita. It's been a pleasure to connect with you, and I
Yeah, it was
appreciate you
great.
taking the time to join me. And a final thanks to all who tuned in for this Three Questions video interview. We'll see you next time.
I definitely appreciate the invite, Greg.